Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Lincoln, and today's the 12th, which means the sculpt for the day was Cauldron, and that's all part of my October3D sculpting challenge. I'm going to put up the rest of the prompt list now. Alright, for anybody new here, you can see this broken up into weeks, and I've designed it so you can put all the sculpts at the end of the week into a cool little scene. Hey, if you guys would like to share anything on Instagram, use the hashtag October3D 2022. I'd love to see what you guys have been making. Alright, let's grab your iPad. Let's go sculpt a cauldron. Let's go in and delete this one. I'm going to use a lathe tool. We're going to use the curve. And I want to do something a little different than the typical cauldron. Something kind of like that. A little more shape to it. Something a little different anyway. Not quite that much shape. Okay. I'm going to hollow it out. You just kind of see how you can work your nodes to do this. Alright, we're going to come up here, subdivide it, validate it, and that's nice. That's perfect. That's what I wanted. Okay, now what I want to do is kind of make this thing have some rivets and plates for it. So we're going to select mask, make sure we're in the rectangle. I'm going to do one on the bottom. We'll go ahead and extract, and that's about right. I think we'll be okay with that. We'll leave it a little cartoony. Let's go in here. We need to clear the mask. Clear the mask. Now I'm going to come around. Oops. Change it, come around, click on the right side, and we'll mask it again. And you've got your node here, or not the node, but that dot. It's kind of nice. Okay, now we've moved, and remember we're in the right side, so we're going to come in to the planes and click on this one only, on the Z plane. And we're going to use the trim tool. And if it's done right, it should trim. Oops, trimming the wrong thing. I guess it would help if I extracted it first. Extract, there we go. Now we can use trim. It should be, did I take it out of symmetry? Oh, there we go. Symmetry on the wrong tool. There. Okay, now we're got a perfect piece, and I'm going to cut this off right there too. You see it's doubled, so we'll trim that out right there. There. Now we have two separate pieces. Nice extracts. Now I'm going to turn this off so we can see what's going on, and we'll turn that one off. And I just wanted to come up to the top edge right there, just to the inside, and we'll cut it off. So we'll just come in with the trim tool, and it doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to trim, we'll keep symmetry on, and oops, not that one though, I want lasso. So we'll come in, trim, just like this, flip it, that looks good. Symmetry didn't do it, so let's look. Oh, we're on front, so we need to change to that axis for symmetry. There we go. Now we can turn these back on, and we have a nice pot with some pieces on it, straps on it, which is fine. We're staying a little cartoony, so we're good. Alright, click on this one, go in, clear the mask, and we're good. Now I can put rivets on here, and right here I'll put a link to my rivet video so you're not lost if you've never done this before, because I have all these special ones down here. So I'm going to grab a rivet one, go into the alphas, So I'll have links to all these in here. Grab this one, and I'm gonna have to change the fall off to something different, and I think I will just do something like that. Maybe taller because it has to come through. So if you do, this is a trick, so if you do rivets on it like this, underneath an extract, and you can paint, basically paint rivets on, and then you can paint the rivets different than this color, and the rivets can be a third color. So much easier to do, and you'll see in just a second what I mean. Alright, so what do we got here? Nope. Just have to play with it. The intensity, there we go. Alright, so this obviously needs a little bit more resolution. So we'll come up around 500-ish. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to pop this open and keep it open. And the scaling is about as big as you can get because you have to stay inside that red area, the red circle. So let's increase the size. There we go. Now, maybe not so intense. Okay, that is perfect right there, I think. Now this brush is, you know, fairly camera specific, so I need to start here and it'll look better. And then I'm just gonna dab one here, dab one there. Now if I wanted these to be absolutely perfect, you could do this a little bit differently, but I don't want them absolutely perfect. Oh, I need to change that to front side only because you can see it's getting a little crazy on the inside. So on this one, go in here, go to the bottom of the brush, and it says front vertex only. Click on that. Now we shouldn't have an issue. And I need to re-topologize that again. Okay. There we go. Much better. Yeah, I want this to look more like it's, you know, handmade, so it doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. And I think I'll trim those up around. Like I said, it's a little camera specific, so rotate it. Okay, now we'll go around the side, do the same thing. I just have to do them section at a time, because if you get too far off the camera, they just won't look quite right. And like I said, I don't want these to be absolutely perfect. I want them to look a little random. There we go, perfectly random. I like it. Okay, so at this point, I think I'm just going to put a couple torsos on here with a block maybe. So we'll come in and we'll add a torus. First thing I'm going to do is bring it up. Okay, and up here, put the snapping on. We're at 90 degrees. Got a good snap. And I think to make those look right, just come in just like that. That looks good. And going to squeeze it down a little. No, I don't like that either. Squeeze it in this way. Yeah, squeeze it just like that. That looks really good. Okay. That's way too big. Looks good. Okay, from here, I'm just gonna clone it and send it over. That'll be fine. It's acting kind of funky. It could just be this new update. Something's not quite right. So that works. Okay, so we got our cauldron. Oh, I do have the extra piece in there, but that doesn't matter from the extract earlier. Okay, so we have a pretty cool cauldron now. Okay, now we got this to the point where we can do some painting. So let's come in and grab the paintbrush and let's do copper and paint all. And these we can select and let's do those brass, paint all. And let's change the environment because that's looking, it's hard to tell what that actually is. There we go. Now you can actually see that it's brass and copper. We'll do these brass and brass. Okay. Now I'm going to paint this guy black. And you can see in there, you know, that's obvious that we've still have the piece on the inside, but that won't matter when we fill this thing up with goo. All right, now I want to mask off these because you want to be able to paint everything except those and then change the paint. So we'll click on the mask. And we need to make sure that mask is on front facing vertex only. So let's look. Yep, that's good. Okay. So we'll do this because we can just paint all and flip the mask. And it makes it super easy. Now it seems like this might be an extra step, but it'll be worth it in just a minute. Because we're going to be painting two different sheens on here, so we need to be able to mask them off, and this is a much easier way to do it. And if we use this mask, then it's not masking the inside as well. Bleed. Bleed. Okay, now I have that selected. We can go to paint and let's just pick this black, paint all. Now let's go to mask, flip the mask, and pick iron and paint all. And you'll see that you have iron rivets and a black cauldron with copper bottom on the inside, which is interesting, I guess. And that's because of this. If we, what's that one? So if we turn all these off, you can see you have that double bottom, and it would be kind of hard to cut that out very easy. So I'm just going to leave it. It's going to be covered anyway. All right, so I guess at this point, this is where you got to decide if you're cauldron half full or cauldron half empty, huh? Okay, so I think what we'll do, I want to make it glow. So we can put lights inside if we just put a disc in here and bubble it up. So let's just grab a sphere, and we need to bring the subdivision up as high as it'll go. You know, just shape and squeeze it in and put it about right there is good, I think. Then you can just add, I'm going to add another sphere, and then this one can be, oops, can be a bubble, obviously a little big bubble. We'll just put a bubble in there, and that one we're going to do the same thing, subdivide it so it's a little smoother. And then this one we can just clone. I'm just going to clone and place a bunch, so I'll be back in a minute. Okay, now that I've got that all done, now I'm going to click on this one and just change, you know, get the inflate tool and just start playing. And oops, I need to change this back to, oh, that's good. Okay. Change it to the full alpha. There we go. We'll just kind of move around and make this bubble a little bit. Turn off symmetry. Get this kind of rolling, bubbling. And then I'm going to pick some of these. Just kind of move them down, move them up. Okay, now that I got that all done, I'm just going to come in here and pick all of these. And I'm going to voxel merge up to 500 or so. This probably really wouldn't matter too much. I want it fairly smooth though. Alright, now we're going to paint it all. And we'll paint it some green. You're going to take the metalness off, the roughness, paint all. Okay, come in the materials, fraction. Now we can come in and put some lights in there. So let's come over here and grab a light. And we're going to turn this into a point light. And let's change the color to a green of some kind. And we're going to bring the intensity up like crazy high. It's got to be crazy high for it to do what we want it to. Lost it. Point light. So you want it to where it's not doing that. So just have to adjust it. There. So that's it. A nice boiling cauldron. You know, you got to decide if you like it half full or half empty. So these would look a little more realistic if they were hollowed out before we put it all together, but that's just what it is. So pretty cool. All right. If you guys are enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe, and I will see you next time. All right. Thanks.